Greetings. Welcome to a special 2022 virtual BizCon announcement from me, the visionary, the founder, the chief executive officer of Young Black in Business. For those that do not know me, my name is Roosevelt Williams III, and I'm happy to have you today. When you hear of Young Black in Business, what comes to mind? Let me share. Young is a state of mind. So we have no age limit in Young Black in Business, as I like to call it, our eclectic meritocracy. The color black encompasses and absorbs all of the colors in the spectrum. And the definition of business is providing a solution for a problem that makes a profit. So we're all Young Black in Business. Our fundamental premise is to provide educational, instructional, entrepreneurial content to early emerging entrepreneurs. So get excited. 2022 BizCon. During this announcement, we will review the event itself, the benefits, and the big plans we have coming up next year. Get your pens out. You're going to want to take copious notes. My goal for creating Young Black in Business BizCon was to lay the foundation for what will be our second signature event. We decided it's time to gather all of our resources for one day and provide information to help our small businesses get from where they are to where they ultimately want to be. We're going to make our long journey your shortcut. We, as a team, as a cohesive network, will be presenting and connecting industry experts directly to the Young Black in Business network and premiering our first e-learning course by one of our Young Black in Business members, Kia Edwards. Yes, we work with our network. Kia specializes in consulting and also is an educator. So with champion instructors, we created an e-learning course with modules. Once you complete this course, we will recognize you at our Black and Gold Gala on Sunday, December 4th at Saquon Casino. We're in the rewards and recognition business, and you deserve recognition. I want to take this time to thank our sponsors for supporting our efforts and providing me, as a small business owner, economic development specialist, and small business development coach, an opportunity to help other like-minded business owners prepare to pursue capital and expand their professional network. It's time to go galactic. Get excited. With the support of our sponsors, we are also able to showcase some of our small business members seeking to make strategic partnerships and introduce themselves to new customers. So get excited, get connected, and get involved. We are working behind the scenes to bring an even bigger event next year to San Diego. I already shared with you. 2023 BizCon will be at the San Diego Convention Center Wednesday, August 5th, and Thursday, August the 6th. So don't delay. Get your tickets today. So this is your special invitation to be a part of our journey of Young Black in Business. Join us for our signature event. Mix and mingle with our network. Work directly with me to learn how to leverage public policy, grassroots promotion, and creating strategic partnerships that will help you, yes you, level your business. Let's get your business to the next level. Don't delay. Become a Young Black in Business individual level subscriber or small business partner today. Join That's JOINYBNB.com today. Or contact us. Text us right now, BizCon, to 619-215-5222. In conclusion, if it is to be, it is up to all of us. Those are the 10 most powerful 2 letters in the entire world. It's up to all of us to be healthy. It's up to all of us to be happy. And it's up to all of us to be successful. Another reason why I started Young Black and in Business, because I started off being a thread. But Young Black and in Business has become a rope. So now we're pulling resources. We're pulling our resources together. And we're working cohesively. That's why the "and" is large in the symbol. Because it's all about you and I. Young Black and in Business does this and that. And we are in this together because we may be in the same boat, but we're all in the same storm. So again, take copious notes, get excited, get connected, get involved, and we'll see you at our Black and Gold Gala on Sunday, December 4th at Saquon Casino in the Grand Ballroom. We have some special guests coming up. So I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Greetings. Welcome to a special 2022 virtual BizCon announcement from me, the Chief Marketing Officer of Young Black and in Business, Brittany Antoinette Miller. This is the first event of its kind for Young Black and in Business, and I am excited to kick this off with you. During this announcement, we will review the event itself, the benefits, and the big plans I have coming up for next year. My goal for rolling out ybandnb BizCon was to create a behind-the-scenes look at what it's like being a member and the resources you have access to. For 72 hours, attendees will have access to special perks, private groups, and discounted pricing to the Young Black and in Business Gala. One of my favorite things to work on is creating signature products with businesses within our network. This year, we will be premiering our first e-learning course in partnership with Champion Instructors, Education and Training Consulting. I want to thank our sponsors for supporting our efforts and providing me as a professional development and sales professional with a background in technology an opportunity to help other like-minded business owners prepare to pursue capital and expand their professional network. With the support of our sponsors, we are also able to showcase some of our small business members seeking to make strategic partnerships and introduce themselves to new customers. Get excited. We are working behind the scenes to bring an even bigger in-person event next year to the San Diego Convention Center. This is your special invitation to be a part of the journey for the Young Black and in Business annual ybandnb BizCon, a signature event. Work directly with me to learn how to leverage technology, customize your sales process, and target your customers through revenue-generating marketing. Contact us at ybandnb@gmail.com or text BizCon to 619-215-5222.
Hello, my name is Bridget Velasquez, and I am an employee of U.S. Bank and a merchant service representative for the San Diego market. U.S. Bank has teamed up with Young Black and in Business to offer all members an exclusive promotion. Here at U.S. Bank, we pride ourselves in owning our own merchant processing, which allows us to recommend the right products and solutions to best meet your business needs. What is merchant processing? Merchant processing allows businesses to process electronic payments either through a credit or debit card transaction. What this promotion means to you as a member is a discounted rate, a point of sale, either through a device or an e-commerce solution. Let U.S. Bank help you today start accepting and processing credit card payments. Thank you so much.
If it is to be, it is up to us. When we are free, we All are free.
All free.
We all free. I hope you got your pens and your pads out now because we have Jerry McCormick. He's a senior public information officer. Take copious notes.
Hello, welcome to 2022 ybandnb BizCon. My name is Jerry McCormick and I'm a media professional. And for the next few minutes, I want to go over how to get your message out to the media. So the presentation is called Headlines and Soundbites, How to Get the Media to Pay Attention to Your Message. So you may be wondering, who is this guy? Well, first, I'm an Emmy Award-winning news producer. I've worked in journalism for more than 30 years in print, broadcast, and public relations. I've worked at some local companies such as the San Diego Union Tribune as a copy editor, NBC7 San Diego as a producer, and at Fox 5 San Diego as a writer and producer. In addition to all of that, I work as an adjunct professor at San Diego State University, and this fall I'll be teaching broadcasting at Palomar College. My past adjunct jobs included working at City College and Southwestern College. So let's begin. 1, know your media. Quick, can you name every TV station in San Diego? I'll give you a second. Okay, it shouldn't have taken you that long. If you can't, and if your answer is no, then that's a problem. So we have NBC7, Fox 5, we have KGTV Channel 10, we also have the CW, and Channel 8, which is the CBS station, in addition to Telemundo 20, which is NBC and Univision. So know your television stations. Oh, and KPBS. Sorry, I forgot KPBS. So see, even I need a refresher every now and then. So let's move on to newspapers. Can you name the major newspaper here in San Diego? I'll give you a second. Okay, while we have several newspapers, at the Voice and Viewpoint is targeted towards African Americans. We also have other newspapers, but the big dog in town is the San Diego Union Tribune. So if you didn't know that, then that's an issue because that's the paper that is widely read by a lot of people here in San Diego. So my first tip is know your media landscape. If you're trying to get media attention, you need to know where to go. If you have an event, where do I place it? How do I get information out? How do I get the media to come? So to know that, you need to pay attention to the types of stories each station does and the newspaper. So that actually means watching the broadcast and reading the newspaper. Does the station do more news you can use? Is it more death, destruction, and crime? Knowing what the local media does and doesn't use can help you in the long run and help you pitch your message to the right people. Now, I literally just said pitch a second ago. So when I say pitch, I also mean target. You have to target the right people and not send things out to blank emails and hope someone see it. I tell my students all the time, People connect with people, not concepts or ideas. And I'll say that again. People connect with people, not concepts or ideas. So here's the secret. Journalists are vain people. They want to be the biggest, they want to be the best, they want the number one story, they want the story, first seen on the broadcast, they want theirs above the fold, they want whatever they're producing the best. And in this day and age, you're only as good as your audience. So news stations hire reporters who have a certain look and they know will attract attention. So it's all about, does the camera love you and will people listen to what you say? It's not quite that way in newspapers. They're looking for people who can write, people who can, sniff out news, who can find a story. And that's where you come in. So if you have something that's really, really good and you'll know it, you'll try to send them a direct email. We live in an internet age. Most people's emails can be looked up on the internet. So once you've done your research, watched the broadcast, looked at the newspaper, suss out who does what and when, because that's also important too, then you start ready to make your pitch. So include a short note saying that you read something that they did or you watched something that they did, and this is why you're pitching your particular story to them. And if you do that, I'm here to tell you, you will get picked up because the journalists want to know, can you see me? Are you listening? And if you respond, yes, I can see you. Yes, I'm listening. And here's a great story for you, then you're a resource for them. Do not waste their time. They get hundreds of pitches per day, and you have to make sure that your pitch stands out. So if you're writing what's called a press release or a media advisory, and that gives the who, what, when, where, why, and how about an event, and telling them what kind of visuals they have, who's there to speak. If you write something like that, keep it short, like a page. No press release should be over a page. If there's a lot of detailed information, say like, you have this new scientific cure or whatever, provide a link and send them to a website. But basically, they're going to be skimming it. They just want to know, what is this about? Who's involved? What can I use? And how's this going to help my audience? So again, don't waste their time. Keep things short, simple, and to the point. Use social media. So a lot of people don't know this, but journalists troll Twitter all the time looking for stories. So you may think your parking is bad tweet here in whatever neighborhood isn't getting people's attention. If enough people are saying it, the journalists are paying attention. So social media is a way for you to get your story out. Let's use an example. Let's say if a neighborhood is having problems with parking or trash pickup, usually people complain on social media like Nextdoor, or they'll complain on Twitter or Insta, and they'll show the pictures or whatever. But what you don't know is somebody in the journalism field is monitoring all of that. We have access to Nextdoor, which, if you don't know what that is, that's an app that targets neighborhoods. It's almost like a water cooler gathering for your neighborhood, where people can talk about people not picking up dog poop, or hey, this is happening we need you to come, or whatever. So use that as a resource. And most newsrooms have access to Nextdoor and that app. So post your stuff there. Hey, we have this school, it's about to open, and here's the information. Or hey, this dance is happening, it helps underprivileged kids, here's the information. Somebody will see it. Okay. So a lot of times people complain on social media, but you can use social media to your advantage, especially if you have a really good news story or something that feels really good or something that's really going to help the community. Put it on there, put it on Insta, say, for example, going back to the school opening, obviously get permission from parents, but show some of the kids, like, hey, this is going on and this is what's happening. For broadcast, make sure your idea is very visual. Lots of action, photos would be helpful. And for print, statistics and hard data will also be helpful and useful. Produce as much as you can. Reporters like things nice and easy. So if they have to come to a story and figure out everything, they're not going to come to the story, unless it's big, bad breaking news. So the easier you can make the story for them, the better. Provide someone who can speak intelligently on whatever subject it is, and have that person rehearse what they want to say, and I'll go into that a little bit later. Have someone who's media trained and ready to go with quotes and or sound bites. So when the media is interviewing you, they may talk to you for like 10, 20 minutes, but the reality is that they're looking for that 10 or 15-second soundbite that they could put in their broadcast package, and that will get the attention of the audience. So if you're rambling on, that's not helpful to the journalist. So think about what you would say or what you would want to hear about whatever subject. If you were home, let's say you were home ironing clothes and cooking dinner, what would be the thing you would say to cut through all of that noise to get people to pay attention to you? Have your visual set up. If you're going to show off a project or demonstration, have it ready to go and have your people ready to roll. None of this, I'm going to come at the last minute or CP time. No. The journalists, they are on deadline and they need to make sure that they get what they need from you. Have all relevant information such as time, place, etc., in an easy to understand format. And what I mean is, say you're promoting an event that's happening a week from now, give that journalist a piece of paper or send them an email saying the Jerry McCormick dance will be happening on Imperial and 33rd from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's free to the public. Drinks, food will be provided. And that's all you have to do. Just keep it nice and simple so that they can use that information and say it in their package or print it in the newspaper. Do your research. And I kind of hinted at this earlier, but build a list of journalists who write about your industry. If you're doing an event or you're promoting a school or you have your own business, go to the newspaper, read it, and figure out, okay, so I'm a entrepreneur. Who writes about entrepreneurship at the newspaper? And if you can't find that out, call them, ask them, hey, I have a story I'd like to pitch. Here's what it's about. Can you tell me who's the right person to direct this to? And then you do it that way. Find a source of reliable information about your industry. What that means is someone who knows what they're talking about and someone who can be ready when the journalists need them. So sometimes stories are one and done, and sometimes they're not. If you leave a journalist with a good impression, they may call on you for something else or another story. So again, find a source that's reliable. Make sure your comments add weight and insight to the story. So just don't be talking just to be talking. Have something concrete and legitimate to say. All right? Have something concrete and legitimate to say. Sometimes, we have big events happening and you can hijack already existing stories. For example, everybody's going to cover Comic-Con, especially now that it's back. Everybody's going to cover Pride. Everybody's going to cover December nights because these are staples in the San Diego community. So try to find an angle that fits into something bigger. Again, we used entrepreneurship a few minutes ago. If you're gay and you have a business, you could do a story about, hey, I'm this new gay business owner, and San Diego Pride is coming, and I want people to attend, come to my business. Or let's just say you're really into the holiday spirit. You love Christmas or the holidays, and you like decorating. Pitch it saying, hey, the holidays are coming up. people are in the Christmas, sorry, I keep saying Christmas, my apologies, everyone, it's holiday. People are in a holiday mood. My store, we decorate this, and this. It would be a cool visual for the media to have. So, again, you live here, you're part of the community. Think about community events and see if somehow or another you can finagle your way into that story. Even mundane things such as the holiday of the day, like National Donut Day, National Intern Day. There's a list. You can Google day by day, and some holiday, and I'm going to use air quotes, falls on one of those days. Again, there's a National Entrepreneurship Day. There's a day for finance. Pitch it. My business does this, or my school does this, or we're doing this. It's part of such and such a day. And you might be surprised who turns out for that story. Okay, keep pitching and don't strike out. So again, journalists get hundreds of pitches a day. So a journalist may tell you no initially, but here's the thing, the news is constantly changing. Stories fall through all the time, and they may be looking for a story they can tell really quickly. For example, locally here in San Diego, we have news from 4:30 in the morning to 10 a.m. across the various television stations. Then 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., we have news at various television stations. And then again, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., to 8 p.m., we have news at various television stations. And then 9 o'clock on one television station, 10 o'clock, and then 11 o'clock. So I say all this to say there are multiple chances to get your story on air, okay? So again, going back to the other slide, if you have your stuff ready to go, then they may say, okay, I couldn't do this story, but I can do this. And if you're ready, they may choose you. So you can also be a reporter. If a journalist can't make your event, then you be the journalist. Use your camera phone, take photos, both horizontal and vertical, and shoot video and provide it to them and say, hey, so-and-so, you could not come to this event, but I wanted to provide you the information in case you wanted to air it. Well, that reporter may not be the one who's writing the story or putting together whatever, but they could pass it off to other people in the newsroom who have more time, and they can work on it and get your story on air. So just again, if the reporter tells you no, it doesn't mean that your event can't be covered. It just means you have to do it. Video, pictures, interviews, not long interviews, just, quick interview. Who, what, asking people the 5 W's and the H, who, what, when, where, why, and how. And then, here's some examples of some questions. Can you tell us why you're here? Can you tell us why this event is important? Why should people care? That sort of thing. And believe you me, if you stick with the 5 W's and the H, the reporter can make a story out of whatever you're doing. Don't send blanket pitches to journalists. That will get them to hit the delete button. I have seen people who have sent pitches to me and they've had the wrong name. Or they've said, hey, Gerald. Well, my name is not Gerald, it's Jerry. Always has been, always will be. So personalize the pitches if you can. Use their name, explain why it would be beneficial for them to cover this story and their audience. Let's say they cover the story, great, it goes on air. You're not done yet. Reach out to the journalist and send them a note saying, thank you for covering this, we really appreciate it. That goes a long way. Some people, and I don't recommend this all the time, but once you establish a relationship with the journalist, send their newsroom some food. A surprise pizza delivery or baked goods will gain you brownie points, because then they're like, okay, this person actually cares about us. So, and again, only if you can afford it, don't go into the bank, don't go breaking the bank for this. But journalists love food. Follow up with some food or a note. Okay, so now I want to focus on preparing for TV interviews. A lot of people have never been on TV before, and that's fine. Don't freak out. That's the key. People can get nervous on camera, but remember, it's not the job of the journalist to make you look bad. They want you at your very best. So if you look bad on TV, then that station looks bad on TV, and that's not what they want. You're being asked to be on TV because you're an expert, or you saw something or said something that could add to a story, or you are the story. So remember your importance. And think about 2 or 3 key things you want to say or get across. Don't bombard people with a lot of statistics, because they're not going to remember, especially in TV interviews. People usually remember 2 or 3 things. So if you're having an event, again, emphasize what the event is, emphasize why people should come to this event, and how can they get more information. That's it. And just remember to stick to those key points. But don't say, this group was founded in 1942 by so-and-so, and da-da-da. People are not going to remember that, and they could care less. All right. If they really want to know more about your organization, what you're doing, they can go to the internet and look it up. But if you're having a specific event, or you have some sort of message that you want people to know, focus on that message. Okay. Dress the part. If you're doing something that is professional, then look professional. Now, if they happen to catch you at an accident scene or whatever, how you look is how you look in the story. But most of the time, look your best. Stay away from stripes and floral patterns, because that could cause camera issues. Don't wear ill-fitting clothes that are too tight or too loose. Wear breathable fabrics, because camera lights can be hot. Black, gray, black and white are bland colors to wear on TV. Stick to jewel tones, blues and grays. But if you feel really good wearing orange and you feel like you're your best self, by all means, wear orange. All right. The people who show up for your interview, they will let you know if there's a problem with your wardrobe. The main thing is, look your best and feel comfortable. So here's a slide that I found on the internet, and I felt like this was perfect to let people know the difference between business casual and professional. For women, a suit jacket or a cardigan can be added for classy. More colors and patterns acceptable in the sweater. Khaki pants, trousers, fingertip length skirt, flats or heels acceptable. Okay. For guys, a jacket or a vest, collared polo shirt, tie optional. I'm going to disagree with that. I think, if you're in a professional setting and you want to look professional, wear a tie. But again, it depends on the story. If you're a baker, of course, you want to wear what you will wear to bake the goods. You don't wear a tie to bake cookies, at least I hope not. And then khaki pants or nice trousers, and then dress shoes. Okay. Again, try to look as professional and comfortable as you can. Always rehearse what you want to say. Keep your talking points. Again, I said this to 3 or 4. The audience doesn't want to be overwhelmed with information. Leave your notes behind. Don't look at a phone or a piece of paper, because what that does is it shows that you are not confident in what you're saying, and that's a problem. The other thing is, don't over gesture. You don't want your hands flying around like you're directing traffic. Instead, talk naturally. Like, for example, I want to illustrate this point. See how natural that looks, as opposed to, all of this going on. Again, be yourself. If you're a naturally gestury person, then, by all means, but no one wants a stiff robot either. Just relax and pretend that you're talking to a friend, because that's what the media is your friend in this story. Make sure you listen and fully understand the question. Don't answer to something you think you may have heard or something you think they may want. It's okay to repeat the question back. You said blah, 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 right? Yes. Okay, then, and then give the answer. Or if they said, no, I meant this, then again, then give the answer. But just don't answer to be answering. Make sure you understand. And it's okay to say, I don't know. All right. If you really don't know whatever the reporter asks, and most of the time they're not going to give gotcha questions, say this. I don't know this right now. That's a really good question. Let me get back to my team and I'll circle back with you. All right. That shows that one, you're human and you don't have your whole company or everything memorized. You're not a computer. And two, it's an opportunity to stay in contact with that reporter again. Now, don't blow them off and never find out the answer to that question, because then they'll be like, oh, so-and-so isn't worth my time. Try to find the answer for them. And again, it also depends on their deadline. If they have most reporters, TV wise, they're doing daily stories. So if they're interviewing you at 11, try to have the answer to that thing no later than 1. Give yourself a couple of hours. But if it's something that, can wait a day or two and you need to do a lot of research, then tell them that up front. Hey, I understand you want this, but I can't give this to you. It's going to take me a day or two. So what they may do is rephrase a question, or they may skip whatever it is. But be honest with what you can and can't do. And if you don't know, you don't know. All right, a few last things and I'll wrap it up. Always thank people for their time. Remember I said people connect with people, not concepts or ideas? Well, the thing is, a thank you goes a long way. Being a journalist, like I have been for the last 30 years, it's a thankless job. People are mean, people are heartless, and we see some of the best and worst in society. So when you connect with us like the human beings that we are, we remember that, and it feels good. And if a journalist leaves you or a story feeling good, they're going to remember you. So the next thing you have, they'll come and say, oh yeah, Susie, yeah, let me see what she wants. Let me do what she wants. Okay. Make sure you leave your contact information with the journalist in case they have other questions, or they want to do another interview, or just for them to have so that they can reach you. If the interview isn't live, ask when it will air or be published. Okay. So that way you can share on social media and tell your friends and family, hey, I'm going to be at this on this station on this day at this time. Make sure you watch. It's beneficial to the station because they get eyeballs on their broadcast, and that helps the station go to advertisers, because advertising is the fuel in the media machine, and say on this day we got X number of eyeballs watching our station. So it's a money-making thing. And it also shows that you're a partner in this story. So that being said, I thank you for your time. See what I did there? And I thank you for your attention. And I hope you learned a lot from this. Take care. Have a good rest of your BizCon. And thank you, Young Black in Business, for the opportunity. Goodbye, everybody.
Live interaction with the youth of Morris High School. Let them know that they can be all that they can be with early emerging entrepreneurs, business owners, nonprofits. It's a blessing to be out here interacting with these young scholars. Next up, we have my dear friend, Sydney Hucklebridge Key, and he is the Lease Back Outreach Coordinator.
Hi, Young Black in Business BizCon participants. My name is Sydney Hucklebridge Key, and I am the Lease Back Outreach Coordinator for the San Diego Unified School District's Facilities Planning and Construction Department, the department that designs, builds, and modernizes the district's campuses. My topic today is small and diverse business certifications. The information in the first section is applicable to all companies, regardless of industry, and then in the second section, I will focus on the construction industry. Here's the agenda. We'll be asking, what are small and diverse business certifications? Why are certifications important? How do you get certified? And what small and diverse business certifications exist? And then finally, I'll be finishing off with a touch upon the XBE, or Small and Diverse Business Enterprise Program at San Diego Unified School District's Facilities Planning and Construction Department. So let's dive straight in. What are small and diverse business certifications? Small and diverse business certifications are the official recognition by a certifying agency that a business meets established small, diverse, disadvantaged, or historically underutilized status. There are numerous certifying agencies and numerous certifications. If a business is eligible and can prove their eligibility, then they can become certified. So why are certifications important? Small and diverse business certifications can be used to distribute contracts more ethically. Groups of business owners who may have been historically underutilized can be prioritized through small and diverse business certification programs. Contracting bodies may give credit to certified businesses while choosing vendors, and these small advantages can sometimes be the difference in winning a contract or not. Now, the benefits of certification are visible in many sectors. One that we interact with every day is choosing restaurants. When you search for a restaurant in Yelp, or you use DoorDash or Uber Eats, you can filter by Black-owned business. Customers are able to choose to support local Black-owned businesses, and they do. Other industries value supplier diversity too. A cursory search online, and I found plenty of big names that have been awarded with supplier diversity awards. American Airlines, AT&T, Best Buy, Denny's, Ford, Hilton Hotels, IBM, Pepsi, Ulta Beauty, and Wells Fargo, just to name a handful. Now, these are some of the larger companies with supplier diversity goals or programs, and they include companies from air travel, communications, auto manufacturing, new tech, food and beverage, beauty, banking, all sorts. As you can see, small and diverse business certification can really make a difference. Now, the caveat that needs mentioning before we continue is that being certified rarely guarantees work. The underlying business needs to be a competitive, functional business with strong fundamentals to win contracts. So how do you get certified? Well, this depends on what small and diverse business certification you apply for. The best place to start is at your local Small Business Development Center, SBDC. The Small Business Development Center is a free, publicly funded business support agency. They have fantastic business advisors on staff to assist all types of businesses in all stages of growth. The SBDC is a great help when it comes to finding out what small and diverse business certifications you may be eligible for and for help applying for those certifications. SBDC's info is on the screen, sdivsbdc.org. That is the San Diego and Imperial Valley Small Business Development Center.org website. So what small and diverse business certifications exist? So warning, as you can see on the screen, I'm about to use a lot of acronyms. They're sometimes referred to as the alphabet soup because of how many certifications exist and how, if you quick fire them in a webinar like this one, they all tend to blend together. The big thing to remember here is to contact the Small Business Development Center to book a free business advisor consultation, and they will help you understand which ones you can apply for and which ones will be useful to you. So I'm just going to pick a couple of examples out from the screen and go into what they are and what they're about. The top one there, the Federal Disadvantaged Business Enterprise DBE certification, is a free certification ran by the US Department of Transport, and it's awarded locally by Caltrans. This is available to women and minority groups deemed socially and economically disadvantaged. The federal definition of socially and economically disadvantaged group individuals include those who are women, Black American, Hispanic American, Native American, Asian Pacific American, Subcontinent Asian American, or other minorities found to be disadvantaged by the SBA, Small Business Administration. DBE certification is very useful when trying to win projects with federal transportation funding involved, as these projects have DBE goals associated with them. Next on the list is California's Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise DVBE certification, awarded by the Department of General Services, DGS, and the Department of Veteran Affairs awards a similar certification for federal use, the Service Disabled Veteran Owned Small Business, SDVOSB certification. Both of these are available for free to Service Disabled Veteran Owned Small Businesses. Public agencies across California, including San Diego Unified School District, have DVBE goals and potentially mandates on their construction programs. Many large private institutions also have veteran-owned business vendor goals too. Moving down the list, let's go to MBE, Minority-Owned Business Enterprise. Locally, this is awarded by the Southern California Minority Supplier Development Council, and this is a nationally recognized minority business certification. However, this certification does cost money to receive. There may be other MBE certifying agencies out there too. Going down to the bottom, WBE, Women-Owned Business Enterprise. This locally is awarded by the Women's Construction Coalition, WCC, and again, is a nationally recognized women-owned business certification. And again, this certification does cost money to receive. Please note that the free DBE certification we talked about earlier is accepted as proof for minority and or women-owned business status, sometimes saving you from having to pay for certifications. So DBE certification, even though it was originally designed for federal transportation contracts, because it runs a bona fide certifying program, a lot of businesses that are not associated with federal transportation funding will still accept that. San Diego Unified, for example, we accept any DBE certification as certification of minority and or women-owned business status. And I'll just finish off with a nice simple one for any budding entrepreneur to apply for is California's Small Business Enterprise SBE certification. Again, this is a free certification awarded by DGS, Department of General Services, available to businesses deemed small, those operating with gross annual receipts for the last 3 years of under 16 million. I should say average gross annual receipts of the last 3 years under 16 million, and with less than 100 employees. There are many other certifications. There's even LGBT-BE available to the LGBT community. Section 3, as you can see on the screen, available to low-income business owners or business owners that live in Section 3 zip codes, and many others. Different organizations value different certifications. San Diego Housing Commission values Section 3 participation very highly, whereas no other local San Diego public agency recognizes this certification. So if you think you're going to be selling to San Diego Housing Commission, or you'll be a vendor on one of their projects, you do residential work, or you'll be a supplier to some of their subcontractors, if you're eligible, this would be a fantastic certification to go ahead and get. However, if you don't see yourself bidding on housing commission related projects, this may not be worth the time and effort. Likewise, the Department of General Services, who have numerous contracts in many different fields, has a 25% small business enterprise SBE goal and a 3% disabled veteran business enterprise DVBE goal. The San Diego International Airport has their own LBE certification for local business enterprises, and the City of San Diego has their own SLBE certification for small local business enterprises. So overall, I'm not going to lie here, it is confusing. The main thing to remember is small and diverse business certifications can help. And for more information, contact the Small Business Development Center, SBDC. Now I'd like to focus on the San Diego Unified School District's Facilities Planning and Construction Department for the remainder of my session. San Diego Unified School District has a lot of opportunities. We're the second largest school district in California. We buy a lot of education supplies, specialized technologies, food, services, products, materials, and so much more. Today, I am going to be focusing on the Facilities Planning and Construction Program, as that's where we have our small and diverse business enterprise goals. The school district's bond program is an $8.4 billion program stretching over 10 years. Since the inception of Measure YY, the latest voter-approved bond, we have over 30 active or completed school modernization projects, ranging from $6 to $120 million in value, and many, many more in the pre-construction phases. Young Black in Business has actually seen Claremont Canyon's campus and the Crawford High School campuses during your photo shoots. Both of these are receiving enormous makeovers and upgrades. And the district's board recognized many years ago that having small, diverse business enterprise goals on our bond program was essential. With billions of dollars of expenditure, reinvestment in the communities, in the local businesses, owned by former students, owned by parents of students, employing local workers, was almost as important to the lived experience of our students as the projects themselves. So we have these goals. Our current small, diverse business enterprise goals are as follows. We have a disabled veteran business enterprise goal of 5%. Within that, we have a 3% mandatory minimum requirement. Our construction projects must have at least 3% DVBE participation. But we strongly recommend that our prime contractors, those are the contractors that win the agreement directly with the school district, aim for 5%. We have a minority business enterprise goal of 8%, a women-owned business enterprise goal of 7%, a small business enterprise goal of 40%, and an overall program-wide goal of small business utilization of 50%. So these are great, right? But they're just goals. What we'd like to see at the district are tangible, real results. Well, we're very proud at the district and in our team about the results that we achieve. In the leaseback program, which is just our latest bond program, through March this year, we had spent over $1.2 billion across 26 active construction projects. Well, we're proud to say that over 40% of that money went to one or more of these small and diverse business enterprise categories. That's almost $500 million went to XBEs, small and diverse businesses. Out of that, we have 4.95% spent on DVBEs. That's almost 60 million. We have almost 100 million spent on MBEs, minority business enterprises, which reached 7.91% of our total spend. Women-owned business enterprise spend was 142.5 million, exceeding the goal, reaching 11.78% participation. And small business enterprise spend was over $390 million. 32.5% of our project spend for leaseback went to small businesses. And also, we also try and track local San Diego County business spend too. And we're proud to say that over 80% of the dollars spent on leaseback program have gone to local businesses. So finally, you have the certifications. And if you're in the construction sector, or even a business that's a construction related business, material supplier, construction site cleaning operation, utility locating, on and off haul trucking, connect with my team and also the prime contractors that win our work. They want to hear from you if you're qualified. If anyone else here who's listening wants to know more about a career in construction, it's an industry that has exceptional stability, amazing growth prospects, and very high potential income. I recommend going to the San Diego Workforce Partnership for free career assistance. Union apprenticeships in construction last about 3 to 5 years, and wages are good from the get-go. Fully qualified journeymen, that is skilled laborers, bricklayers, plumbers, carpenters, electricians, etc. Fully qualified journeymen can become licensed and start their own business with just 4 years of journeyman experience behind them. I wish you all the best on your journeys through the world of business, and I'll leave you with the resources on the screen for a few moments for you to take down. Although I will hand these to Young Black in Business to share with the BizCon cohort. All the best.
Next up, we have the Jane of all trades, Carol Kim of the San Diego Building and Construction Trades, here as a business manager. Listen and let's give her a round of applause. Thank you, Carol.
It's a lot of responsibility to be the first Asian woman in this role in San Diego County. It's a lot of responsibility because I know that the things that I do will make an impression on people and kind of set their expectations for other women who come in after me or alongside me. I started off, I'm the child of immigrant parents from South Korea. They were small business owners, and I grew up watching them work in their small business and working in their small business in summers and the weekends when I was a kid. I went to UCLA as an undergrad. I got my bachelor's degree in English, and I became a teacher for Los Angeles Unified. And it was really there that I actually started to realize that a lot of the stories I had heard about how if you work hard and follow the rules, you'll succeed. I started to realize that there are actual structural barriers that prevent people from doing that were way beyond whether or not they worked hard. I think some of the influences I bring to the construction industry is, one, basically demonstrating that women are very capable, which clearly we are. That two, we deserve respect and that we will demand it in the workplace. That three, that we are the equals of our male counterparts. It took a lot of work to get to where I am now. It took a lot to kind of build trust over the years with my membership, with the people I serve, and for them to start to feel that, one, I was really capable of doing this work, that two, I understood enough of their lived experience to be able to really fight for them well. I worked for an education research firm where I did evaluations of grant-funded programs until I started to realize that all of this stuff, all of these programs were really impacted by policy. And policy, of course, is the result of politics. And while I was doing that kind of community organizing, I got recruited by somebody to run for city council here in San Diego. Folks reached out to me afterwards and asked me to come join the labor movement. The responsibilities of the business manager of the San Diego County Building and Construction Trades Council are largely to represent the collective interests of all of our member unions. We don't have a lot of API members. It's something that I think culturally in the United States, for whatever reason, the Asian American Pacific Islander community doesn't think of construction as the path for them. But that said, union construction is amazing. It's an amazing career choice. It is a lot of hard work, but you can make a really good family-sustaining wage doing it. When we're looking at trying to diversify the industry more, especially diversify our union membership, we are doing a lot of programming around things like apprenticeship readiness programs. I absolutely anticipate more project labor agreements in San Diego County. So I am going to be working very hard all the time to go and get more and win more, and make sure that more and more construction workers here in San Diego County are working under union standards, receiving union benefits and wages, and living a good life.
Next up, we have Senator Nakia Porter with our joint podcast, Knowledge to Currency. This episode is 13, starring Chef Jeff. Get excited.
Have you ever had an idea that was so clear it was like a 3D movie? Have you ever told a friend about the idea and they told you, wow, if you could only make that into a business, you would be rich? Sound familiar? Welcome to Knowledge to Currency. I'm your host, Senator Porter, with my co-host, Roosevelt Williams III, and we're here to help you take action. This is free information. We only ask one thing: build a strong foundation and mindset. We have insight to help you get started. Most of us just need a push.
If it is to be, it is up to us. When we are free, we all are free. All free. We all free.
Welcome to episode 12 of Knowledge to Currency. This is our first episode of the second season. We got Senator Porter and
Roosevelt Williams III.
And we're honored to have Chef Jeff as our guest today. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Let's kind of dive into it. We wanted to build up our show to get to the level to have somebody like you on there, and we want to give you your flowers. You're somebody that I've noticed from the outside, but still our friends on the inside.
Yeah.
So we want to kind of talk about your journey, the rise and the ups and downs of how you got into where you're at now. Because you have several businesses. You're a father. You own a actual restaurant. You own a record label. You own you have food service business. Mm-hmm. What I miss? I know you got others.
It was a clothing line. I think that's about it.
Clothing line. So four streams of revenue. As we were just talking about, San Diego is not cheap to live here. So you obviously got to make some money to do it. So
yeah,
tell us a little bit about your journey. We were talking about you were born in Miami. How'd you end up here?
Oh man, so it's kind of crazy, man. So my family came here from Jamaica. Back in the day, mom had me in Miami, and then went back to Jamaica for like a year when I was a baby. And the little kid came back to Miami. Left Miami when I was like 7, 8 years old. Went to Brooklyn, New York. Then about 10 years old, then I went to Brooklyn, New York, and then I was in Brooklyn from third grade to the to 10th grade.
Okay.
Right. And then I left New York, went back to Florida, but a different part of Florida. Now I went to Daytona Beach, Florida. Went there for high school. For Daytona Beach is like 4 hours away from Miami to Daytona. Yeah. So I went and lived with my dad. So did my 2 years of high school there. Then after my 2 years of high school, I moved down to West Palm Beach, Florida.
Different too.
Yeah, that's like 3 hours south, right, of Daytona. And then work construction there. And I remember it's kind of crazy. I remember working construction, man. And it was cool at first, taking home $400. It was $440 after taxes. Okay. And that was about the year 2001, right? Okay. So I used to take home that weekly, rent $600 a month. And I'm like, I'm living good,
right?
But then I remember it was a day, man. I'm just there working, slave hours. Monday through Friday, you work, and then you spend the money in the weekend. Monday, you back working again, But I just always didn't feel fulfilled. And this guy was, this construction worker was like, man, move out of the way. I've been doing this since I was your age. It hit me. Whoa, he's 60. He's 60 years old, and he said, "I've been doing this since I was your age." And I'm like, man, that's crazy.
Right.
It blew my mind. So like I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday. Like, hey, what have you done in the last 12 months? How have you elevated in the last 12 months? Are you in the same place or are you further?
Right.
And they said they've been in the same place. Same place. Some people run the rat race, clock in every day, go home, play their video games, whatever they do.
Right.
And they still, 12 months, you still in the same spot.
Right.
Now times that by 20.
Yeah, and that's how people get stuck. Yeah,
right.
It's true.
That's why you gotta look at your life in 6 months increments and always you should be elevating 6 months better. It could be education, it could be physical. You don't gotta be bald, but like how are you more better than 6 months ago?
Yep.
Did you work in your health? Did you work in your marriage? Did you work on your career? Like just we always had to elevate.
Right.
So now I'm there. So like they're doing construction and it'd be So I'm like, man, when he told me that, man, I got scared.
Okay.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. The hardest thing about life is, we didn't ask to be born, but you're born, then you have to grow up, then you have to find a career and then you have to pay your own bills. Like, I ain't asked for this, but you have to do it. That's just the way it is.
It's life.
And the hardest thing about life is figuring out what you want to do with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? When there's only a few people that are blessed to figure out what they want to do with the life that they have. It'd be people 50 years old still trying to figure out what they want to do.
That's a fact.
So I joined the Navy that day.
That same day?
Yeah, man. It was raining. It was raining, and I remember I took the ASVAB like a year ago just to see something, and I remember I had a 31 ASVAB score. That's the lowest you could have, and they said I could be a cook. So man, I joined that day, man, and I left West Palm Beach. I'm like, okay, now I joined the Navy. I'm in the military, in boot camp, and I had a lot of life shocking things that happened to me while I was there.
Okay.
One of the biggest things was like when I got there, they pulled me aside and put me this reading class. Like, what are you? I got to go in this class already. I'm already in boot camp. Yeah, but there's like a special ed program over there for people who I say bad test takers.
Right.
So now I'm in class one day. I remember a man that hurt me. I was with 80 people in front of me. There was 80 people in the boot camp class from all over. And they told me to go ahead and come to the instructor wanted to see something. He said, come from Mr. Cole. He had me read a summary out. I read the summary, and then he asked me to recite something that was in that summary. He asked me a question, something similar, something small, but everybody jaw dropped. Kind of knew what he was talking about.
But you just read it out loud.
Yeah, thinking about it, coming up in high school and stuff, I was always, I'm a bad test taker.
Right.
I'm just this and that, giving myself excuses of why I can't get where I'm at.
Right.
And then when the teacher comes to you, you're on paragraph 5. All right, I got 5 people ahead of me. This is my paragraph. Let me get it out clear. Right. We all do that, right? Get me out clear. So when it comes, I can spit it out properly. Ain't nobody laughing at me. I'm not even trying to recite. I'm just trying to make sure, all right, it's passed, right?
Right.
So now, when everybody eyes jaw drop, you got people from around the country, you got rich folks, poor, all kind of people, and they looking at me like, whoa, like something was wrong with me.
Right.
So I'm like, man, that hurt. Somebody that hurt bad.
Right.
A master's degree later. So, I had to look at myself and so I went to college. I came, when I'm like, man, I'm something wrong with me. Like, I'm off from everybody else.
Right.
Then I realized that
made you work hard.
I realized I couldn't comprehend.
Right.
I'm 19 years old, so I'm like a man, and getting married and all kind of stuff. I'm like, man, I can't even comprehend going through life like that. So, took some college classes, man, and got my associates in food service management. Then I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a pilot. Got my degree in I got a bachelor's degree in professional aeronautics with a minor in aviation management, aviation safety, and then I pursued more. Got a supply chain management logistics master's degree.
Okay.
Right. So I'm like, okay, no excuses now. All right. I know how to navigate through life. I could, I can comprehend. You got to educate yourself. And I found out. I wasn't a bad test taker. I just couldn't comprehend properly. I ain't study.
Right. And then now you understood that there were steps to be able to comprehend. Once you understood that, there was really nothing wrong with you at all.
Yeah, but in the poor schools coming from, man, they put you to the side, like, oh yeah, he's just a bad test taker,
right?
You know, and
social promotion.
Yeah. So I was stuck in that, and then everybody in class like, yeah, we just don't take tests good, and I'm good with my hands. You know those things. I'm good with my hands.
Force you to be in a box that you're not necessarily, when you could do way more than that.
Oh yeah. Right. So we say we good with our hands all the time, and that's an excuse because we can't comprehend things, and we're not learning. Like, no, man, we better than good with our hands. You say you're good with your hands because you're trying to say you can't read and comprehend how to, fix that tool or how to do this, how to do whatever. Right. So that was a big part of my life, getting past that. But now in the military, cooking, hated my job as a cook. But that I said, man, I'm gonna make the best of it. Right. It's like, okay, so we in the ship when I was in San Diego. That was my first duty station, the ship in San Diego. We I found out, hey, all right, I'm stuck doing this job for 5 years in the military. Well, just be the best. Let me just be the best of what I can do. Right. And then they had my we cooking for 5,000 people. They started putting my menu on the ship list for everybody because I was just really into what I was doing. Right. They had this thing called Cole's Curry Chicken. That was kind of cool. Took a bunch of stuff in the deployment, so everybody has good morale. Right. And then learn how to cook for so many people. Then they moved me to the commanding officer's private chef. Then they started sending me to culinary schools. So I went to school, learned how to fold napkins, do 7-course meals. I'm all over the country doing culinary schools. I'm like, man, this is cool. And of course, it's always kind of hate when it comes with success because I'm over there, I'm working my hardest to do what I can do. Right. And then he's saying, and then I get moved up, and you're asked, you kiss butt all the time, and you do this, you do that. I'm like, nah, actually, man, I've just been working hard. Right. But a lot of people that work hard, they're in the same bubble because you get pushed to the side, and then the people who's over there want to hang out, play video games, smoke all day. Right. They looking at you like, oh, you think you better than everybody? Right. Well, I kind of am, but I've been working while he was hanging out. Right. So now I'm going from San Diego. We moved over to I got stationed in Jacksonville, Florida, because we decomped to San Diego, did the whole deployment out there on a Bellawood. So now I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. Commanding officer, cook again, went out, did 2 deployments, went to South America, and then went to the Mid-Atlantic. And all these places, we usually order food, and sometimes I'm learning how to cook side by side with these people in these different countries. Cool. So that was great. And then when I was leaving Jacksonville, Florida, I got stationed in Hawaii. There was a program called Air Crewman. Okay. So it was she is Air Crewman. So pretty much, it's like you're like a flight attendant / private chef / like rescue swimmer. Okay. Right. So it's like you have to go to air crew school, survival swimmer school to be a part of that program. So there's 3 of us in the military 13 of us in the military that do that, and I was the only black guy who did it. Oh wow. I had to go to school in Pensacola and tread water for 10 minutes with 20 pounds of gear on. Right? Swim a mile in the water under 80 minutes. Somebody did it 72 minutes. So I had to do all the survival swimming, and that was a challenge for me to get to that program. But now I'm in a program. I'm in Hawaii. I'm flying. I'm on the private jet Gulfstreams. The Gulfstream jets. Nice. Right. So I'm over there like a flight attendant, but I'm cooking gourmet meals around the country, around the world. Right. For dignitaries, senators, everybody who fly under the Air Force One. Nice. And I'm like, man, that was a great job. So I'm over everywhere in the whole Pacific area, flying the world. Then we went to, they sent me to more schools while I was there. Became a certified chef de cuisine, going to culinary schools, and just became, up, no matter how good you are, you go up your skill level. Right. So then I got stationed in Italy after that, Hawaii. Got stationed in Sigonella. I'm in Italy, flying around Europe and Africa, flying the world leaders around. So everybody who represents the president on the other side of the world, they shake hands, they fly those jets. And I'm over there, man. I'm talking about, I'm in different countries, and I'm going to restaurants and cooking with those guys. I'm in Italy. When I was in Italy, I was on my free time. I used to go out and, cook in restaurants. Right. And I'm like, well, hey, let me see what I can do. Right. So I'm out there learning skills and cooking around the world. That was great. But I remember I had a time where I was just going through a little depression issue in Europe, being away from my kids. We're in the States, just a whole lot of family stuff was going on. I had a hard time going. So when I was, I kind of bumped heads with the military while I was there, and I realized I didn't control my life. Right. And like, it took me over 10 years of being in it to realize I wasn't in control of my life. Like, time is everything. Like, you can't redo that time. You can't get that year back. People are like, man, you had 7 more years left in the military. Why you retire? 7 more years of my life I can't get back.
Right.
That's big.
So you're 29 when you decided, like, I got to do something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, I had like a few more years left on my clock. So I got stationed in San Diego. And then so I'm in San Diego. I'm like, man, that's why I started doing some private chef work. It's like, doing culinary videos and, cooking channel videos, just being really on that grind. And then I started a farmer's market. That was 8 years ago, July 13th, 2014. I was set up on the farmer's market on the Seaport Village, had a tent out there, and I was selling sliders.
So you was doing the church food.
Pretty much, man. It was at a farmer's market, but I was slinging burgers on the corner.
Right.
From the jet to the slinging on the
But
block.
you got to. Sometimes you got to do that sometimes.
Yeah, you got to do it. So, man, I remember I took, half my rent money, man, and did a whole setup.
Oh, wow.
And, I'm like, man, I'm going to make all, I'm like, I put a risk on myself.
Right.
And, I didn't get that, but I got a lot of exposure. I understood a lot of things.
Right.
And from that one farmer's market, I went from having 5 farmer's market run a week.
Okay.
So, and, I started trying to pull myself out and put people in place to actually do the work. So now I'm in different parts of San Diego at the farmer's market. So I got 5 farmer's markets going on in a week time.
Okay.
So, a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there, it worked. And then we market and catering at the same time. And and then, I'm trying to be a celebrity chef, want to cook for the celebrities, do these things. And then further down, I started doing more research, and I realized celebrity chefs are broke.
Okay.
People most of the chefs that cook for celebrities ain't really got it.
Right.
And even and then most chefs don't make that much money.
Sure.
I'm like, the best you go do is $150,000 working at Bellagio in Vegas as a head chef.
Okay.
So I'm like, man, so my vision got blurry now because I'm thinking you working for Diddy and stuff, you getting, you making that money. Right. I was like, nah, you get exposure. He was like, hey man, I put you on my IG and you come over here and cook for free.
Yeah.
So, but how much exposure do you need? Like, I need more than just exposure. I need money.
Right.
So then, further on, I'm doing catering jobs. Like, okay, catering jobs. So I get $10,000 on a pop from catering. Right. So now, the farmer's market when I first started out, I was getting $300 a day.
Right.
So for a whole day of work, it's $300 income, and that's not including product and stuff like that. You don't got enough time to pay nobody. That's why most family members just do that. But now I'm doing catering, and I'm like, okay, I got $10,000 for a wedding. Boom. I'm working a wedding, and I can't even answer the phone call for the next, next sale.
Yeah.
Because I'm working it. And so when somebody getting a catering job, they calling whoever pick up. I just need a service.
Right.
Whoever got it, they go do it.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So now I'm like, all right. And then I go to other people who's been doing catering for a lot longer. I say, hey man, when do you stop chasing the sales?
Right.
This thing is rough. Every day I'm trying to sell. And so you don't stop.
Yeah, he can't stop.
The sale don't stop.
Right.
I said, it don't stop. This is nuts. I was like, you working so hard, and then you got to get the sale at the same time. This is nuts.
Right.
So now I'm going. So now I found out about corporate catering. I'm like, okay, lock in some of those. I'm like, okay, cool. For a low price, you get some people who got corporate who want weekly catering done to you, and I got a few corporate events. I'm like, okay, cool, I got corporate going.
Right.
So now, getting a couple $100 here and there for like corporate lunches.
Yeah,
right.
That's still
so I'm like, okay, cool. So now we set, but they can also like not want to call me the next day, so it's not really set.
Right.
So I like I said, I started from like $300 per day to like $1,000 a week. Now I'm on a scale making $20,000 a month.
Right.
From doing,
which is better.
Yeah, so I'm doing $20K a month at that time. So doing corporate catering and weddings and stuff like that. But then I found out about this other thing to secure a contract called government contracting.
Yeah, let's hear about that B to G. Business to government.
Yeah.
Man, so I went to a seminar with the Black Chamber of Commerce one time. I can remember I was listening to this podcast. I'm trying to figure out, one of the biggest things I was trying to figure out how to get money. Right? As an entrepreneur, man, you're always trying to figure out how to get money. You gotta get capital. It's almost annoying. So, and it's like, check out the local black chamber of commerce. They could have access to capital that you don't know about, blah, blah. I'm like, word? I'm like, you got local. So I'm like, what's that? So I Googled one and San Diego had one. So, hey, man, and so I called, and the president at the time answered the phone and said, well, come on down to this, we have a luncheon. So we went to the luncheon, and they told us about the government, they were speaking about government contracting, about construction. I'm like, I don't know nothing about construction, but I'm like, okay, cool. Now I'm listening about the construction and government contracting. And they were like, man, we got $5 billion worth of work out here, and we have to give 25% of that $5 billion to minority business owners. And we don't have enough people to give it to. I said, stop playing. You got 25% of $5 billion that you have to give to minorities, and you don't have enough minorities to qualify for it. So do my research more. So, you know what, this government contract, I don't do construction, I don't know about construction, but let me try something. So I was like, what's the closest thing I could think of by being in the military, by my skill set that I don't know how to do?
Right.
Janitorial.
Right.
So I bid in my first janitorial contract, and I won it.
Okay.
Man. It was a building in Spring Valley, doing janitorial. They paid like $900 a month.
Okay.
Man, I was so hyped. I was ecstatic. I was like, contract.
Right.
2-year contract, like 2 or 3 times a week, vacuuming just high dust in the place. So I'm like, okay, cool. I got a government contract for the state.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, cool. And then I had put some more contracts in, and they came in. I'm gonna tell you a crazy story, man. In Sioux City, Iowa, I put a contract in Sioux City, Iowa, and I won that contract, food service, feeding 500 people. Okay. So it was about 500 people, and it was a $20,000 gig, for 2 days of work.
So wow. So then in 2 days, you was doing a whole month to make 20. You just did it in 2 days.
2 days.
So that's the light switch came on.
Man, but here's a trick now. I ain't had no money. Okay. They told me on Wednesday that I got a contract that starts on Saturday. I ain't had no money. And I didn't know I could turn down a contract either.
Oh, no.
Right? I probably had like $1,000, $1,500, enough for a plane ticket to get down there.
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, how am I gonna figure this out? So I got the plane ticket, got to rent a car, and I got a staffing agency to work for me that give me net 30.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. So now I'm at net 30 with a staffing agency. So I'm like, okay, now I need to get food when I get there. So I flew out there. So what I did was, oh man, I stretched it. So anyway, I brought some bank starter checks.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
I brought bank starter checks. I knew I could gather some money over the weekend.
Sure.
But I needed money. I needed this stuff today.
Right.
Right. So I could try to get some money to get it going. So I get there. I got some vendors. I was able to order food with the starter checks.
Okay.
So now I got the whole food. I'm talking about all the food going. And when I went to check in my hotel, it was below 0 degrees out there, like negative 10 degrees.
So
and the thing about it is, I had to get a hotel all the way in Nebraska, Tennessee, because when I got there, they told me you couldn't use their kitchen. So I got a Marriott with a kitchen in there. So I'm like, man, how am I gonna figure this out? So now it's 45 minutes away. So now I'm in Nebraska, and my car wasn't working. Couldn't check in the hotel. I'm like, everything went straight. But I'm like, damn, I can't get my car to go work to check in this damn hotel. So, saying, I was like, man, if I took it out of the car a little bit, it's cold out here.
Right.
But I'm like, it was getting good. The car was cold. It couldn't walk. It was getting too cold.
Yeah.
So my buddy was able to send some money to my USA, and at that time I was still real prideful. There's probably 100 people I could ask for help.
But you didn't want to.
But your pride is too much to even ask. Right. And there's so many people that would probably be like, hey, so this is one of the biggest things in business I learned, but you can't be prideful because you can't get through the storm by yourself.
Sure.
You got to figure out, you got to have people in your pocket you can actually, speak and talk to about it. So now I get in there and, now I'm getting my stuff going. And you guys remember the Tinder app?
Yeah.
Right? So I'm on Tinder and had found somebody right before I got there. And this girl came over. Right. This is crazy. This girl came over. And she said, what you doing? We talking, and she started helping me prep and cook.
Oh, you blessed.
she started to help me prep and cook, and we was up to like 4 in the morning doing it, and then I didn't have enough oven space, right? Because I had warmers and stuff like that. I was doing it, getting stuff prepped, and I needed to do some brownies, and she's like, yo, I'll take these to my house and do the brownies. Like, I'm just praying she come back though. She, I just pray.
Shout out to Tinder.
Yeah. I'm talking about that was a whole extra hands right there.
Yeah, that was free.
Extra hands.
So now, now she's walking out, leaving with the brownies, and she said, "Man, I really thought I was coming to get some booty." I'm over here making brownies.
Yeah.
These are just real stories, man.
Right.
I'm like, man, really, I'm over here trying to get my, get my grind on.
It's that serious.
But a lot of people, it's crazy. A lot of people get distracted from dating and sexual. Those can be habits and addictions. But I had one goal, man. It's like self control. It wasn't about getting a booty, man. It's about securing this bag for the future.
Right. 20,000 in 2 days.
Yeah. Right. Sustainability.
Yeah. So I did it, and then the next day I showed up. All my staff was there to help serve food, and we went through the weekend, man, and got it done. That was rough. And then then I was able to gather some money. By the time they cashed those checks, the money was in the bank for the food.
Facts.
I'm like,
Facts.
Because I'm still hustling, trying to figure it out.
Right.
But that started. Then I found out later on I could have not signed for the contract, and I could have denied the contract. I'm like, you serious?
Right. But you learned. So
I learned. I went through it, and then now I know if a contract's not for me, I won't take it.
Okay.
Right.
Blessings. As Chef, because I know we got 5 more minutes to go for the show.
Okay.
I want to make sure that we cover some ground bases with you, because I know you got a bandwidth of knowledge, skills, know-how. Some more insight on that business to government. Like any tips, any instructional content you can give for the early entrepreneurs that's tuned in.
Man, a lot of people try to do government contracts. Man, one of the biggest things with the government contracts. All a contract is doing the job that you know how to do.
Right.
You I want to do government contract. Okay, what is it that you do? If you have a small business already, I would say take your small business and try to get work from government contract. Because I have government contracts around the country. I'm in Alaska, Atlanta, Indianapolis, South Dakota, Alaska. I got one in Old Town, right? Mm-hmm. I do food service already. So the government hires me to do a job, which is food service. So if you have a job, if you're an IT person, data person, whatever you do, that's what you get with the government. And they hire you and, get it's a secure sale for 5 years.
Okay.
So, you get these 5-year contracts, and that's great. But just look for your next code and get into an area where you're good at.
So then once you get the 5-year contract, as long as you deliver on it, they'll give you.
As long as you deliver, man. If you make T-shirts, you do whatever it is you do, just find the next code and do it. You can't just say, I just want to do government contracts. Well, what's your skill? Do you know how to clean, janitorial? Do you know how to paint? You have a company what the government wants.
So then you leverage from doing that. Let's talk about chefs. Let's talk about the restaurant. That's one of the things I like to bring about the show, like how that idea come about, and kind of tell us about the idea.
Man, the idea was crazy, man, with chefs. It was a fluke. I just remember, when I got the location, I didn't want to be handcuffed to the restaurant like I was in my last restaurant. So, I had a restaurant in the past where I was tied down to it. So I'm like, okay, how about we set up the kitchen now? How many chefs out there? When I was trying to be a celeb chef, I was coming over here asking people, can I cook in their restaurant? I just want people to enjoy my food over a drink in a nice area.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, you know what? How about we just sub it out? Have these local chefs, the people that you see on Food Network, they ain't doing nothing. Let's book them like artists, and let's give them the platform. And now they're bringing their customers as well. So it's actually working, man. And now I got we got the chefs, the celebrity chefs on the weekends. We got these local chefs as well, like the farm market type of guys. So I'm now giving a whole community opportunity to sell food and make money, and sit down in a restaurant where they never have opportunity to, because no other restaurants let you cook at their establishment.
That's a fact.
And be able to have drinks and, the whole full service. With celebrities coming there.
So. Yeah, you had Michael Blackston the other day.
It had Jahan Jones, Michael Blackson, and then Cedric Entertainer came.
Okay.
And then Lil Flip came and performed. Like, man, what the hell? Like,
Lil Flip.
Yeah, man, it's word in the neighborhood when they come in, they got to check in with Chef.
you already know.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's like every celebrity in the city, man. My DMs, my text messages go like, "Hey, Chef, where you in the city? What's going on?" And I just try to show people a good time, man.
Right.
I try to show people, San Diego's a nice place to hang out. Sometimes I take them on a yacht. We get some drinks. We, whatever they want to do when we hang out. A lot of other people do things different, man. When like a promoter would just like see an artist say, "Here's your money, bye."
Right.
But I'm saying, "Hey man, come hang out. What you want to do?" And now they come in for free. And they tell their buddies like, "Hey, we got a spot Chef." They take care of us.
Yeah, what I love you shared with us when we was at the restaurant. You said that instead of you moving to somewhere else, that you wanted to be this having a spot. You were like, "No, I'm gonna make having a spot here where I'm at. I'm not moving nowhere." Like,
oh yeah.
My environment that I like I really.
Yeah, I got a creative environment I like doing.
Right.
Like, I like hanging out, like having drinks and doing things. So, you got a creative environment that you like, man. And but people don't know, man, money come later. You got to hustle,
right,
and the money gonna come with the passion.
Right.
If you think about money first, it ain't gonna happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. We got a couple seconds left. Any last encouraging words you can give us?
We can go longer. Let them talk about his record label as well.
Please.
It's a big chef.
Yeah, that's right. Please.
Oh man. So it's like weird how everything in combined. So I actually built a recorder studio in the bottom of Chef's.
Okay.
So my record label, I got a couple artists on there, and my son really focused on him a lot. So now when these artists come, man, they come and they giving us tracks as well.
Okay.
We getting the features with the artists, and we go ahead and we got a whole lot of stuff we about to do, we about to push. So really putting things in the map, and and understanding. So even I'm understanding why a lot of San Diego artists is not where they need to be at.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy. This is one thing. It's called ego.
Yeah.
A lot of time, you think you're bigger than what you are. Okay. Right, but it's like, all right, hood famous. We famous locally, but let's go 100-mile radius, 200-mile radius, and see who knows you when you walk into a store.
Right.
We get spoiled like that. Even myself, and I walk around like, okay, and then I might go to Miami and nobody, I'm like, damn. But I gotta understand, like, I ain't popping like that, right? So you gotta just
not yet.
But you gotta humble yourself. But I think my goal is and I don't do that for money, man. I'm just like, how can I create that no limit, that cash money of the area? Because back in the day, man, nobody's going to Miami for music till Luke made it pop.
Right.
Nobody's going to New Orleans for music till Luke made it pop, or till Master P and made it pop.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, cool. But I like challenges. How can I make it San Diego place where it's going to pop?
Right.
Now I got all these artists coming and they giving us love, and now I'm doing so much networking and going places and meeting so many people with the Drakes and Ovios and with the with Neo. Like anybody you can think of, like all I'm doing connected. How, one of the biggest things is I want to use their machine. The machine of telling everybody how to put the music out there. Because there's so many talented people, but you gotta be able to use the machine to get it out there.
So how'd you have that vision to actually want to have record label? Like, almost like a good version of Suge Knight.
Yeah. I know people say that. So, it's crazy because the promoters be like, I'm Suge Knight and taking their artists when they in town. They pay all this money and they come. But I think ever since back in the day, man, Diddy was one of those inspiration.
Okay.
Right? I'm like, man, bad boy, CEO. I just remember he used to say that.
Right.
Like, how do you become a CEO? Mm-hmm. Is there a book? Is there a school? Like, what school do you take to become a CEO of a record label?
Right.
To find out there's none. But then find out when you're in the as I get older, I find out I'm in a financial situation that you can make anything happen. True. A lot of times people I wasn't able to reach, they're my friends on my phone now, because I'm able to put myself in certain rooms and I don't need nothing from them either.
Right.
When I'm coming to these rooms, when I ask for autograph, I don't need nothing from you. Right. Just want to say, and then a lot of them come to me and say, hey, can you help me out? Right. And then you start realizing that the music game is not, you pull the curtains down, it's not as flashy as it seems from the outside.
Sure. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's a lot of life, and like you said, entrepreneurship, business. Like as you look online, somebody got this rented Lamborghini and they saying it's popping and it's this and that, and they don't have no money.
it blows my mind. That's why, I had that little music video I had. I made one with my son rapping, and I did everything in my house with my vehicles. I'm like, why do you have to take a picture in front of somebody else's car, rent a car, and just say, hey, this is how I'm getting it. I'm riding around, I'm getting it. Like, how are you getting it?
Right.
We want to do how, like, okay, how you getting it, but how are you getting it?
Right.
You don't got no record sales yet. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Right, I do like the mindset you had, eliminating the ego and having the people at the forefront, like the we-go mentality.
Yeah.
Even from the creating an establishment where you're inviting others to come show their culinary skills. Yeah. You're bringing the music group with you. You're bringing others with you and just creating that momentum. And I believe that's going to be ultimately the sustainability, because the power's in the people.
Yeah. It's a big fact, man. We can't do none of this by ourselves, man. Like, there's plenty of times it was go crumble and fold, man. And, the people, people are there to bring me up. And, they just want me to be, I'm just that person that was chosen to be the leader. Right. And, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to lead. And, everybody bring up. And so there's so many little pieces that go into to get where I'm at now that I can't even tell you. People would do certain things that I didn't even know they did it just to help me out, and it's appreciated. It's appreciated. I'm pretty sure you guys have workers too that, made a phone call and made an adjustment that you didn't even know they did just to make something happen for you. Right. So, we all got to appreciate that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to appreciate it and know that I put my pants on the same way they do every day. Right. And I know I ain't make it yet. As long as you know you ain't make it yet, you keep hungry, keep going. Yeah. It's good, but it's bad because, like, I'm in a tornado storm. I can't see the storm in my building. Everybody sees like, yo, look at Chef over there. Right. I can't see it because I'm just working. I'm just like, yo, man, I ain't focused. I ain't making it. And everybody's like, but now I got to realize, okay, I can't move how I move,
Just walk around normal.
Yeah, man, because, for all the listeners and viewers, man, the Bosses Ball, man, that was it. We had I was blessed to be there. We were both blessed to be there at the University Club, bringing DJ all those.
Shout out to DJ Envy.
It was a blessing, man, to have the room filled, with boss mentality. You definitely, the master and commander at the helm, celebrating your birthday, the big view of the city, beautiful people. Money was in the room, spirit, business, networking was in the room, and for you to be able to, bring that to the town, as me being the third generation San Diego, brother, you definitely bring in that winning spirit to San Diego.
Thank you, man. That's all I'm trying to do. And I claim San Diego's a home. I've been in San Diego 8.5, almost 9 years. It's the longest city in my 39 years I've lived in one area. And I got so much love. It's so much love. The people so much love here, man. It's grateful to be a part of this.
And I love that no matter your success, you always approachable, never act funny. Yeah. Like always say what's up to me. Man, that's all you can ask for.
Oh yeah, we gotta know, man. What we was, I know you for so long, man. When I was growing, right. You seen the growth we was growing.
Exactly.
And and the hard part about it is like, somebody like yourself. Y'all see me grow. You see me like, okay, I seen you years ago, and you can see the progress.
Right.
But there's some people who never see me progress, and then they just see me now and be like, oh, he was a scammer. He sells drugs. People think I'm a dope boy or I'm a scammer. I'm like, man, it's kind of deep, man, when you look at it.
Crazy.
Because we can't see ourselves as successful in a black community. We can't see ourselves without thinking something negative about it.
That's messed up.
Right? We be like, oh, you making all that money? I know he pimping or he's selling drugs or he doing. We can't just be like he went to college and worked hard.
Right.
The perception's already there. Or you play sports. He worked hard to get it? Nah, that's not possible. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, that's crazy. It's mind blowing. Just like I was explaining to somebody, man, I put a post up. I hate when somebody might say, yo, your place is ghetto, right? Like what makes it ghetto? Like, there's holes in the walls. Like what makes it hood? What makes it ghetto?
Right.
Oh, the people, blah blah. Well, all I see is a lot of black folks.
Right.
And then guess what happened when you go across the street? Right across the street, it's a mixed crowd, right? There's fights all the time. It's alcohol creates fights.
Yeah.
It's what it is. Oh man, those folks they act a fool over there. They wild over there. But across the street, if these black folks have a fight, man, that thing is ghetto and ratchet, man. Just plays a ghetto. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, even our own black folks call it down ourselves.
Really?
And then, but you go to another establishment that's a mixed or white establishment, those folks are fighting too. They go in that because alcohol. That's what alcohol does. You get hot, sweaty, and there's going to be 2 or 3 fights.
I never had no problems at your spot.
No, not my spot, but I'm just saying. But I realize there has been fights sometimes, but like alcohol is a crazy drug. Like I drink, but it's like, man, so I've seen him, man. I'm like, man, it's a crazy drug. What they get on people. And,
Right.
But then we stereotype ourselves, so we call ourselves ghetto because we're like, oh, look at these black folks fighting. But you see some folks across the street, it's not ghetto when they fighting.
Right. Yeah. Nah, I mean, I guess with success, you see you see the success. You like, this is what I'm working for. But then there's the dark side of success too, where you have that success, and now people almost like they mad at you for being successful.
Oh yeah, I get that a lot, man, and I get that. People say, "Oh, you don't do this no more, you don't do that." I gotta watch how I move, and even some people understand, man. Like every day, people approach me about opportunities and this and like, sometimes I'm just in an environment where I'm eating and having a drink, man, and they want to tap my ear. I'm like, man, you're screaming at me in the area where it's loud music. I'm like, I can't really hear you right now, man. But I understand, man. Sometimes in the community we want answers, and you grew up not knowing what to do and not knowing how to make money, and you see somebody making legal money, man. It's like, man, how do I get like that?
Man,
how do I, what I mean? And I feel for it, man. Like, how do you do it?
Right.
And then you get this. Then we got these things where. We got these people that's, people call them thugs, they're angry. There's a lot of angry people that, because they don't have any money.
Yeah.
They're financially frustrated.
Right.
They girls looking up, but they can't pay the rent. They don't know how to get it.
Right.
But then it becomes anger, and you use a muscle, and you be like, they're a tough guy. Right. But you're not really tough, man. You need we need a hug, and you be like, you need guidance to figure out how to get to where you're going.
Right. And just to chime in, I'm experiencing that right now because being a corporate scientist, sometimes you have to, it's hood scientists out there.
Yeah.
So the language, the terminology, the vocabulary is different. And they're unable to understand, articulate, and express themselves. So it turns to hate, envy, and jealousy.
It's crazy.
But it really is a beg, a SOS for help, a calling for help.
It is, man, because you got to put you got to have your chest and put your tough guy on, because your pride won't let you say. He was like, man, I'm gonna beat this guy up. I'm gonna do something to this person because, I'm on an air mattress sleeping on the floor at home. I don't know how to figure it out. I just don't know. And I'm too prideful to ask for help. I'm too prideful to say, hey man, how do you do this? Like, what can I do to get myself
back to
together?
the ego, you were saying, back to the ego. Right.
But it's crazy because, like, man, look, I might have a look at my man. Look, man, my humble times when I'm hurting, I'm like, man, look, I'm about 40K short in payroll, man. I need some help. Like, I might have to go to somebody and be like, hey, this things ain't planned how I was supposed to plan, man. And I gotta, put my head down and be like, hey man, I need some help. I got a new project coming up, I need some help. But then vice versa, things grow and I'm there. Somebody might need my help.
Right.
And I'll be there. But, you gotta know who to help and, where they plan out at. But you can't have the ego, can't have your pride, man. If not, man, you'll stay you'll stay in a hole.
Man, you can't have your chest and your hand out. One of them got to be in.
Chest and your hand. A lot of people do that, man. Boy. Hey.
One of them got to be in.
One of them got to be in. Your chest and your hand out.
Which is it?
I've seen that a lot, man. Like, you may have your chest, he's screaming on you, but you need to help. I'm like, whoa, just.
Right.
Yeah. But, as we are, man, as a higher we grow in business, entrepreneur, you get level-headed. And you have to understand people because you're dealing with people every day. And, just like.
Yeah, what I learned is as I'm my journey of growth, people start to say you act differently or you're changing, but I have to not be offended when they say that and just still like guide them with me. Like, hey, I'm going through this change. I'm going through this growth, and still hit them with the wisdom still that I'm learning. Because some people, I'll tell them stuff and they just not ready for what I'm telling them, and they don't hear. And then later it'll click, and then they'll be like, hey, I remember you was telling me that. I finally did it. So I used to get upset. Like, I tell you to play, and then they don't never do the play.
Oh, same here. That's why I put on my I put in my bio, look at my bio, book time with me now. Okay. Because, and it's not about the money, man. Yeah. It's about you got to respect me more because you're paying for my time.
Yes, sir.
I'm giving you $1 million worth of game.
Right.
Like, if you tune in right here, I just gave people $1 million. How I've made millions of dollars. Last year, my company grossed almost $6 million.
Bless.
Right. starting at $300 a day. You know, $300 a week, really.
Selling sliders at the Seaport Village, at the Farmers Market.
And now doing government contracts around the country and doing fucking, and have a restaurant, you know, so that's, you know, I'm giving you $1 million worth of game, and you telling me you can't pay $100 for it. I don't know what to tell you. But you want to sit down, you want to take me out to lunch, you want to talk to me, pick my brain, but you don't do nothing with it.
Ain't taking no notes.
You ain't. You feel me? Like, man, my mind is so beyond so grateful, and I can be creating more ideas and more money instead of talking to you right now.
It's facts.
You know, spend time with my kids, you know, single dad. I got my kids, I got to take care of family. And one of the biggest things when you're an entrepreneur is time, man. We don't have time. We got to take time away to do this. So I don't have time, but I'm going to give you my time so you can mess around and not do nothing with it. It's like a little disrespectful.
What's the next event that we should be looking for that you may have coming up that we like to tell the world?
Man, you know, just fingers crossed, man. But opening escrow for Chefs LA.
Okay.
Right. So that's the next thing, right? You know, so Admiral's experience is nationwide.
Yep.
Right. The next thing is to take Chefs LA like a McDonald's almost. Chefs, you know, the concept chefs, because the concept was never done before. So, you know, go to major cities around the country and take it on. So we gonna see how that go, man. But, you know, win, fall, or fail, man. I always know at least I tried.
Right.
And the worst thing in my butt that can happen is I gotta go find a job.
But if you had to, you would do it.
Oh yeah,
and then maybe start something else. Like that's what I tell everybody. Your job's your first investor. You can't go to family. You can't go to someone. Get a job.
Beautiful.
And then work on your dream in the nighttime.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know, I was in the Navy getting money. While I was selling sliders, I was still active duty.
Right.
You know, then you gotta hit it one base at a time. And then another thing I would tell people is, man, don't even look for money no more. It's the hardest thing of doing is getting investors, getting somebody to give you loans for your dreams.
Right.
Like, why should I? So go out there, use your own money, hit one base at a time. You show the worth, and then everybody's knocking on your door saying, hey, can I give you some money?
Yes,
I got money.
That's a fact.
As soon as you start making it, you gotta take that share and make it profitable. Like, you know, you don't get no stocks early or getting it late. And then now you done made it a little profitable, and you know, shuck some trees. You gonna be having so many people knocking on the door and say, how can I get in?
Okay.
Yeah, but you got it ain't bad to go one base at a time.
Right.
Half a base, and it's gonna take a little while, but usually, you know, you might have to work a night job while you work your business in the daytime, you know, because you fund yourself. It's gonna be tough, but
it's worth it.
Yeah,
it's worth it. So that 8 years went by fast.
Man, I don't know. I have a heart attack and then like, boy, you know how many times I went to I've been fetal position, can't get out of, you know, because I got to face some things that I don't know how to face. A lot of times it'll be a money problem, right? Over the years, you know, I remember, I think it was like 2016, man. I was, I had my restaurant in San Carlos. You've been in that one before, right? You've been in that one too, right?
I didn't get to go to that one.
So, in high school. Yep.
Yeah. So I didn't have money to pay my employees.
Okay.
And then I don't know where, and there was no money coming.
Right.
I didn't want to go look at my employees in the face, man. I wanted to just stay in the house and stay in a fetal position, trying to figure out what the hell I'm gonna do.
Right.
But I remember I was watching DJ Khaled, his interview on Hot 97. He was just like, when you see me bow down to greatness. I'm like, what the hell? Why are you being so cocky? When you see me bow down to greatness, you know what greatness is about. And then he started explaining. He said, do you know how many times I could have folded? I could have just ran away and pop up my all online. I kept pushing. I kept looking fear in the face, and I kept going. And so I could have folded, but I'm here and I made it. I made it through the storm, and I'm still looking in the face of the tiger, like just here. I made it.
So what'd you say to the employee?
No, I ain't say the employee. No. This what I did was I got up. Okay. I got out of the couch. I got out of the bed. I'm like, man, I ain't gonna fold.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna go to the jungle and I'm gonna look at the tigers. And, you know what I mean? I'm here.
Right.
You know, okay. Right. And I was able to scrape some money up and pay these workers. And it was just, and this is how business is crazy. How sometimes you gotta separate your emotions.
Right.
That same week, I had a hard time paying people. I thought my executive assistant at the time, I thought she quit because I haven't heard, she ain't do no show, no call from Tuesday through Thursday. All right, so I reached out to my mom, and Friday, and mom told me, "Can I go to her house and check up on her?" I go to her house, right? And I found her body.
So she died.
She died.
Wow.
Right? Found her body. She overdosed on drugs in her room. Right, 24-year-old. Right, and this is somebody I talk to every day, 20 times a day, because she's my assistant.
Right.
But at the same time, when I found her body and called the cops, the deposit for the paychecks for people to cash their checks just came in. So people are saying, "Well, can I cash my check?" I can't even have time no more. I got to go figure out how to go pay my people now as I'm, handing over her body to the police.
Mom and police.
You know what I'm saying? And then I got to pay me out. I didn't even have time to actually even mourn. I'm just like, man, this is crazy.
Right.
So, but that's those things that make you tough, and you won't forget it. And we're like, man, I kind of made it through the storm, made it through a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely appreciate you being on the show. It's an honor to have you here.
Absolutely, man. Hey, man, big boss, man, keep going. Keep grabbing a tiger by the tail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Keep handling grown man business. Keep being an inspiration. I like to say one lighthouse can guide many ships. And what you're doing at Chefs, man, is really a lighthouse to early emerging entrepreneurs. Because this is not the first time that you gave away some jewels and some gems and shared a platform. So, we're going to keep building, and we want to thank you very much for your excellence.
Absolutely. We went over a half hour because Chef's here. So
thank you. Appreciate it.
But yeah, thank you so much for being on the show. And definitely when I do go out, I like to go to your spot for sure. And
I was there on Saturday, man. Had the wings and the garlic fries.
Did you see Michael Blackson?
Man, I was with the wife, so I'll be In-N-Out Burger.
All right, cool.
But I go for yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, but definitely thanks for being on the show. We love to have you back in your next venture, and that's a wrap of the episode.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And we have none other than business professional Maurice Williams. He exceeds expectations, and he's also the president and CEO of Always Ready.
Hi, my name is Maurice Williams, and I'm the president and CEO of Always Ready of Southern California, best known as Always Ready. It is our intent to serve the underserved. I'm talking about underserved men. Much of the profile that used to be dressed for success for the ladies, that is what Always Ready is for the males. In the underserved community that we service, there are three, and that is veterans, justice impacted, and the unsheltered men. Contrary to popular demand, we also reach across the aisle as we have before, and we've helped out our sisters that are in need of help.
Case in point, we had a situation where, just for an example, someone who she recently was released from incarceration and needed help getting some employment. I, as well as some of our other colleagues, worked tediously and were able to get her placed within 4 days as a sous chef. In that, Always Ready provides clothing, uh, workforce development assistance with regards to resumes, introductions to employers, as well as negotiating salaries. In that, although Always Ready in the mission statement helps underserved men, we will not, I say again, we will not turn away someone just because they're not male. We will work with them as well. And in the case of if we're unable to work with that person, we don't just dump them off. We do a warm handoff to other services, especially social services or things that can help someone. So, how does one become an Always Ready client? It's quite simple. You could go to the website that's behind my head, www.alwaysreadysd for San Diego.org, or they can give me a call, preferably a text at 619-980-9665. And then from right there, we do individualized assessments, needs assessment. We have been working with not only justice impacted individuals, as I stated earlier, but also veterans. And in that, we've also worked with mainstream persons, and that's those who were not justice impacted, those who are not veterans, but they could also be unsheltered. Not everyone's needs are the same. And so that's why we have individualized needs assessment, because it will be just like if you use the example for ice cream. I don't like vanilla ice cream, but I know somebody who may like vanilla ice cream and I could possibly match them up. We work as a matchmaker. If I hadn't said it earlier, we are a tax exempt 501c3 charitable organization. And so what that means is that every donation that is provided to Always Ready is at it's where you can write it off for your taxes, and everything that we do is at no cost for our clients. Others call their clients participants. I would rather call our clients what they are. They are a client that we are providing a service. We're very happy to provide this service. If there is any questions that you may have with Always Ready, or if you would like to volunteer, if you would like to come and visit or whatnot, please, please, please do not hesitate to contact me. We could definitely talk about it. If there's some collaborations, some memorandums of understanding, memorandum of agreement, working relationship or collaboration, please let me know. We have several events that are coming up, one being August the 3rd. We're doing a job and resource fair at San Diego City College. Get out in the community. Another one's going to be August the 20th at Mountain View Park at 641 South Boundary Street, San Diego, California, 92113. And we're also going to be doing an event at the Balboa Park for persons with disabilities, because October is Disability Awareness Month. So as you can see that we stay busy. Always Ready is in collaboration, not just with other entities that provide workforce services, but also those who provide a myriad of social services, things to make a gainful impact within the community and abroad. Last but certainly not least, we're doing an event at Pachanga Arena where, like I said, if I didn't say before, excuse me, the October event as well as the November event, there's sponsorship availabilities that are there. At the Pachanga event, which used to be the old sports arena, we're from San Diego, will be held in November. The date is to be determined, but it will be before Veterans Day, which will be November the 11th. November 11th is Veterans Day, and for all those who are veterans, just like myself, thank you for your service. Well, that's pretty much it from Always Ready's point of view. I'm happy to be here. Looking forward to hearing from you, looking forward to working with you. And if you have anything, or if you want to even donate with regards to gently used clothing that we provide to our clients, please let me know, and we can provide you with a tax exemption. I hope that you're all doing well. Thank you for being at BizCon. I'm very thankful for the partnership with Young Black in Business, as well as all of you. And I just hope and pray that you have a great day. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.
Are you in business? Better yet, are you serious about your business? Are you looking to scale your business? Well, as Mr. Black San Diego, as Mr. Gold Coast Classic, as Mr. Heritage, Mr. Someone You Should Know in San Diego, I would like to invite you to our annual BizCon in beautiful San Diego, California at the San Diego Convention Center on Wednesday, August 5th and Thursday, August 6th. We'll be doing B2B, we'll be doing B to C and B to G. That's business to business, business to consumer, and business with the government. So you, yes you want to be here in San Diego, California, America's finest city, with the best and the brightest entrepreneurs from all around the world. Are you serious? Is the $1 million question. You need to be here in San Diego, California, with the best and the brightest entrepreneurs from around the world. So don't delay. Get your tickets today.
I'm Danny Fitzgerald. I'm the Regional Director of the San Diego and Imperial Small Business Development Center Network, the SBDC. Truly is a great passion of mine to help small business owners achieve their dreams. And it is so exciting and so gratifying. As I talk to my team of different staff and advisors, they always are super excited about working with entrepreneurs, their passions, their excitement, and yet really do what they're passionate about. We're really there to be able to help that small business owner and help them grow.
As an entrepreneur, one of the most difficult tasks that we had was trying to properly structure our business. There's nothing like the SBDC. The SBDC starts you off primarily from the beginning and gives you that ladder to climb the corporate steps.
I connected with the SBDC initially just to gain a loan for the business, but as I worked with my loan advisor, I realized that they have so many other resources such as social media marketing, classes, and so many other resources for you to continue growing as an entrepreneur.
SBDC is the reason why we're so successful, hands down.
Since working with SBDC, a whole world of opportunities in terms of being able to access advisors, resources, has been made available to us.
To all my veterans, I highly encourage that if you have an idea or a concept that you want to bring to life or make it into a business, reach out to the SBDC. From one veteran to the other, I highly encourage you need to do that.
Working with entrepreneurs really is all of our why. It is truly the passion. We're here for you. More than anything else, we're here to listen, we're here to help, and we're here to be that guide that you need.